Hello everyone, Tim here. In this video, I just wanted to do a quick little my thoughts on Ghostbusters Afterlife because I watched it on Saturday night and it's been on my mind. I absolutely loved the movie. Uh I'm not going into any spoilers. I went in with avoiding all spoilers and I had such a blast with it. But first thing I will say that I absolutely loved is Egon, for using an actor a character from an actor that has passed 7 years ago. Egon is a driving force behind this entire movie, and it like almost brought like a tear to my eye. I loved it. They did such a respectful job with his character. I loved everything about that. If you're a huge fan of the 1984 movie, this movie is a love letter to that movie. I feel like you can watch this without having seen that movie and you still will have an entertaining time. But if you saw the 1984 movie, and especially if you love it, there are winks and nods in this movie like crazy. I'm not going to say what any are. Part of the fun is watching and seeing that stuff. And I mean, there's a couple of things in the one area in the movie that I got like my own little personal laughs out of. I loved. But yeah, I adored that it's basically a love letter to the 84 movie. I loved the new cast. I thought the new cast was great. Trevor is probably my least favorite because I don't feel like the story went anywhere quite as much. It wasn't as important. But Phoebe, played by McKenna Grace, she was phenomenal. She stole the show. Her friend, the new character podcast was great. The mother, Carrie Coon, she was great. Paul Rudd's character, Gary Gruberson. I mean, Paul Rudd, I always like Paul Rudd, but yeah, I enjoyed all those new characters. I had a blast with them. Can't wait to see what direction they take the next movie in. But yeah, this movie exceeded all expectations. I honestly already went in with pretty high expectations. I don't know why, but I did. I love the 1984 movie is my second favorite movie of all time. And this worked for me on every level, and I adored it. How I felt in the theater is how I felt watching Jurassic World and Force Awakens. So Jurassic World is my favorite, or Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time. I really enjoy the Star Wars movies, and both those movies were rebooting franchises after being dormant for a while, and both of them utilized nostalgia heavily, which is what Ghostbusters does. It really utilizes nostalgia to hook the fans that loved the movies before. And all three of them kind of retell story beats from the first movies. And that was okay with me, honestly. I know that is kind of something people didn't like with, Jurassic World and Force Awakens. And I've seen even critics say the same thing about Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's retreading some of the same story. I'm personally a sucker for that. I loved it. I felt like it's a great way to bring back the old fans and introduce new fans. Nostalgia works for me on so many levels. I don't care if it's a quick great way to grab cash from people by throwing in winks and nods everywhere. I love it. I mean, I had an absolute blast. It gave me the same feels as those other two movies did. And it's just, it was the perfect way to reboot the franchise, honestly. I'm not getting into the 2016 movie. I have thoughts on it. I like the actresses, but it didn't work for the intent they had. And this one just does. This is so great. I'm not gonna also mention about what cameos are in Afterlife. I don't want to spoil anything, but whatever there is in the movie is so well done. I teared up with some of it. Like my wife was next to me, and throughout the whole movie, I'm like nudging her as stuff is coming up. Like even the score is a new score, but utilizes old musical cues. The whole movie is just a nostalgia trip. I I loved it so, so much. Definitely my favorite of 2021. Uh, I adored it. I mean, I love Ghostbusters, and it just gave me more of that. So, just trying to be a quick little video, not a review. I'm not getting deep into it. Just, I loved Ghostbusters Afterlife. I love nostalgia. This worked for me on every level. So, I would love to know what you thought of Afterlife if you watched it. I'm, a couple days late after it's out, so good chunk of people should have already seen it. So, yeah, that's everything I have. See you in the next one.